Eric Haugen. Do you know what a mode is? Sort of, but not exactly? I'm here to help. There are 7 distinct modes, each with a unique flavor. They can be confusing, but with a little bit of theory and patience, they actually make sense. And whether you're using them for rhythm or soloing, the modes offer a treasure trove of sonic possibilities. In this edition of Guitar Zen, I'll answer the modal questions all across the neck so you can not only play them, but feel them. We'll explore what makes each mode special and work through a series of interactive studies using backing tracks I crafted specifically for this purpose. So join me and let's discover the universe of modal magic, Simplified. Ready to drop in? Let's roll.
Hi everybody, welcome to this amazing launch party. My name is Nathan. I'm here at the headquarters here for True Fire in our little mobile studio today. I am joined by the one and only Eric Haugen. Eric, how's it going?
Good, everybody. It's good to see. I recognize a lot of my subscribers here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Yeah, this one kind of snuck up on all of us. I forgot that I had filmed this, and then you guys emailed me like, hey, we got that other course that we want to put out. So, yeah, let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, we are glad to have you here. We are very, very excited for the early access launch today of Modes, which is the 6th installment in the Guitar Zen series. It is such an amazing series. Folks love it so much. And we are, once again, very, very proud to have you here with us and to discuss this brand new course. Now, I know this being the 6th course of the series, we have this great graphic that you shared with us last time, and this is the second time we've done this launch party, and people loved it. And Eric, it looks like people are saying you're backwards again, so here we go.
1 second. I know how to do it. Thanks for letting me.
Here we go.
That's so weird because I had it. Is that right? Are we good?
I'm sure folks will tell us.
And then someone's saying we got a hot mic. Hot mic on who? Here's welcome to going live.
Yeah, right. Well, we are, that's just the nature of the beast here. So, but anyway, so let's get into the nitty and the gritty of the course. And I want to bring up this phenomenal graphic that you've shared with us called the Mountain of Understanding. And if you wanted to tell our folks a little bit about it and how it relates to your Guitar Zen courses.
Yeah, again, shout out to my graphic design web guru, Mike Stearns. He's helped me out so much. When we were, we do so many courses by now. I was like, okay, how does this work? What's a way to kind of organize them all? And so we have this graphic that feels like, I don't know, I feel like I say this in videos, this is just a recreational activity. Like the way I see it, this is supposed to be fun. So I view it as like, cool. I like to go on hikes. I like to go into the woods. I like to look at stuff. So I was like, well, my courses are really just all little trails all around. I deal with the same stuff again and again and again. I stand by this statement. It's actually like, if we're talking about rock, blues, pop, country, soul, gospel, the vocabulary is actually quite simple. Pentatonics, double stops, major keys, minor keys. If you know those things, that's like really it. The only thing that makes music complicated is the fact that songs are made up of many chords. But if songs were all just C, man, we'd all be smooth. We'd all have no problem whatsoever. So I was like, you know what? Everything is just a trail. There's ecosystems to see. There's a pond over here. There's, some rocks over there, but it's all like the same place. That's hence why I was like, yeah, all my courses, the way I think about everything, it's all just like, here, have fun. Go walk around. Go walk around and look at stuff. So that was why I said that. And let's just take a minute. Okay, I'm here. I live in North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I just wanted to say, anybody else chime in with, are the cicadas just absolutely bonkers by you? Because they're insane by me. The double brood. All right, just chime in the comments if you're like, yeah, dude, cicadas this year. I mean, it's amazing. It is just amazing. Anyway, just wanted to, that was like right before I hopped on, I stepped outside to take out the garbage. I was like, yeah, they're going.
That's how it goes.
Okay, anyway, we're going to get to questions. So feel free to fire away with questions. People actually emailed a bunch of good questions already, but we'll see what Nathan wants to talk about.
Absolutely. So while we're here chatting about the Mountain of Understanding and how this actually works, if we could just talk with folks a little bit about the modes course and how it fits in with the Guitar Zen series.
Okay, so modes, the way everything fits in is that, I feel like we have the caged stuff, the idea again to review. Let's see. Well, I'm going to stand up. The chords exist like this. Those are all the possible shapes for C major. And of course, in each of those locations, you get it. That's a C major pentatonic. I could, if I wanted to, make it C Lydian. So they tie in that sense that like it's going to be through the cage structures. It's going to have intervals. There's going to be a review of major key and minor key harmony, which I did in the rhythm course as well. So that's what's unique about the last two courses I've done, the rhythm course and modes, is they go over major key harmony, the notes in the key, how that makes chords, the intervals, all those things, because intervals are really the thing. Intervals are really the thing behind everything, but it does go across the fretboard in the caged world, so it ties in that sense as well.
Very good. Now I'm actually going to jump to a few questions that we had gotten from some folks that had submitted questions in advance. So the first one is, do you practice modes against a drone?
Good question. There's actually already a bunch of really good questions. You absolutely can practice modes against a drone. Like, okay, let's say, I got, Squier Starcaster, $400 guitars, highly recommend. These are just great. Let's see. Pick a mode. Let's stay Lydian. Lydian, if you don't know, it's a major scale with a sharp 4. So for me, that means everywhere that I know my E major, all I have to do to make it Lydian is find the 4 and sharp it. And that's my thing, is I don't think it's necessary, and I talk about this in the course, to memorize new structures for modes. If you know your pentatonics and then the cage shapes, all we're going to do is, we're going to fill those intervals in. Here I'm going to let's go to a more comfortable position. This version of E up here. So if this is E major, then so this is where knowing the intervals comes into play. There was the 4. Sharp it. And Lydian's an interesting mode. But here's the thing. You can practice modes against a drone, but the thing that the course goes into, and I've made videos about this. I made a video called Modes Aren't Just, what was the video called? Modes aren't just reversing it. Modes aren't scales, they're progressions too. Because every mode, let's stay in E. We have the special note that makes it that A sharp, that sharp 4 is what makes this E Lydian. And so for a progression to be modal, to jam on, you want it to start on the E, the key, the tonic that we're rotating around. And then you're going to go to a chord that in some way has that spicy modal note. And in this case, it's F sharp. That is a Lydian progression, E going up to F sharp. It's like a 4 to a 5 in a key, but if it never lands on 1, then it's Lydian. And so what you could do is you could lay that down with a looper, or you know me, I would always say to do groove and fill practice, where you groove and then put a little Lydian fill. Oh, REM, Man on the Moon. Dave Brooks is here. What's up, Dave? He's saying Richard Thompson gets referenced in the course for sure, mainly in the Mixolydian area. And we got already good questions coming in. Okay, I see that Nathan's popping back up. What you got, Nathan?
Yeah, so I was going to ask another question that we have here that was sent in. So, will this course present modes in a manner that is easy to comprehend and apply to my playing without the requirement for me to learn 7 new shapes across the entire fretboard?
1,000 times yes. 1,000 times yes. Like I said, let's go to D Mixolydian. Each of the modes, I go over the what I call the modal questions, which is, okay, let's talk about. We got D. D Mixolydian is coming from ultimately G major. And yeah, the whole course, by the way, is just dealing with the modes that come from G major. Of course, D Mixolydian is what happens when we start on the D. And then, though, we're like, okay, first modal question, is this basically a major scale or minor scale? I think we can hear. It's got a major third in it. It's built off of major chord, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck, I have to tune this guitar, though. I was just talking a big game about, hey, these are so great. In this guitar's defense, the weather and the humidity. It's a great guitar, great $400 guitar. Okay, that seems better. Okay, it's a major scale, and then we ask the second thing: in what way is this different than a regular scale? And that answer is, it's a major scale with a flat 7, and that means theoretically, if you know where your major scales are, and by the way, there's it's weird because it's mirrored on my screen. I don't know what's happening. 5 shapes of major pentatonic, you turn it into a major scale, you flat the 7, then there you go. You could play your Mixolydian wherever you happen to know a major scale. Here's it over here. Right, that's D major, flat the 7. Mixolydian's so groovy. You could play it over here. Yeah, someone's saying to blame the Squire tuning issue on the cicadas. Okay, I'll tell you guys, though, for real, what happened was I was up in New York visiting my dad, and I came back, and they hadn't hatched. And so when I came back down, I was, editing videos, putting stuff together. I was like, what is that sound I'm hearing? Because I'd grown up with the cicadas that do like the sizzle, the like, the cicadas down here sound like a like all day long. And my dumbass actually called the cops. I was like, is there construction going on in my neighborhood that I don't know about? And the lady was like, it's the cicadas. I'm like, oh, that's what they are. I've never heard them make this sound before. It's trippy, man. It's absolutely trippy. There's some funny things, and they're so dumb looking. They don't look real. Anyway, like I was saying, cicadas, but also wherever a major scale, theoretically, you could turn into a mode. I don't believe in memorizing new things. To me, everything exists on a hierarchical, pentatonics are the simplest scale. They're the oldest scale. They're what, cavemen were singing. So it starts there. And sure, then we can get into, Western music theory. And then we could make it into a mode. Okay, I think Nathan's popping up. He has another question he wants to throw at me.
There was another question that did come through from the audience. They said, let's see here. Do you have a certain order of operations for teaching and learning guitar? For example, do you recommend students learning the notes on the fretboard, then such and such?
Ah, yeah. Okay. Where is it? I usually have it written down. It really depends. So for beginners, I usually say for beginners, it's, and I think I just talked about this, um, that beginners, it's all about repertoire, learning how to strum and play songs, learning to be a riff machine. Repertoire is first, the theory comes later. And so hold on, do I have it written down? There's, like, I always, me, I got notebooks and notebooks and notebooks. Well, anyway, the way I always say to split your time is between that repertoire and analysis of that repertoire. And then the other side of things is sorry, it's like I'm slow. It's because I'm mirrored. The other side of things is the fretboard knowledge and theory. But in in an ideal world, you do both those things. You're always bouncing around. Like, you never want to only just do theory dry, but you don't want to endlessly just learn riffs and bits and pieces of songs. I think both are good. And you guys probably know this if you know me. To a certain degree, I don't think it matters very much what you're working on, as long as you're working on it so slow and so clean, just so slow and so clean. It really, that's what I stand by.
Very good. This is actually a random question that came in. Eric, what is your favorite kind of pizza?
Y'all know I love pizza so much. So much. Who doesn't? I always close out my videos with Happy Friday, eat pizza, because I don't know if you guys grew up this way, but like, yeah, pizza always happens on Friday in school. Like, that's when you get the, like, the school cafeteria pizza. I'm not the biggest fan of like a white pizza. I do like pepperoni mushrooms, a solid choice, although maybe sausage roasted red pepper, that's a solid choice. I'll put pineapple and ham on pizza. I don't care. But yeah, or sometimes, what, just a really good pizza with some good sauce and some good cheese and some good crust. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, so although I gotta say, living in North Carolina now, for the pizza game is definitely getting stronger down here for sure. Bagels, they haven't figured out the bagels so well down south, but pizza, they're getting pretty good with the pizza down south.
Very good. All right, we got another question that just came in, Eric. They said, from the audience, I'm interested in applying the modal scales in my soloing. Can you demonstrate how to move around the fretboard in a melodic way so it doesn't sound scaly?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm actually about to shoot a video about this. Okay, let's stay with, it's fun to drone in E. Let's do E mixolydian. We don't want to sound, that's running the scale. The key to like phrasing, and I think, well, there's so many things, but the number one thing, and I'm going to be shooting a video about this, don't arrhythmically hunt and peck for the golden lick. Whatever your starting point is, you have to commit to that lick 100%. Because watch what happens if I play in such a way where I'm like, you can kind of hear that I was looking for a better lick. And so I think one of the keys to soloing is yes and playing, to use like improv terms. Whatever you start with, cool, that you commit to it. Now I want it. One of the cool things about mixolydian is that you can cross it over with blues. But so remember that. Don't hunt and peck. Tell a story. Tell a simple story that is bouncing along in time. That's one of the number one things about doing a decent improv, whatever that is, like letting go, letting go of like having to impress anybody, just doing like, cool, this sounds neat. That you just chase it. Oh yeah, be like the dog chasing the ball. Okay, let's see what other questions we got.
Another question that we just got is, Eric, what is your favorite mode?
That changes, on the regular. Like I remember in the course, the Lydian example is really pretty. Honestly, the natural minor, the Aeolian one, I really liked what came out there. The Mixolydian ones are fun. The Dorian, I'll tell you what modes I don't particularly care for. I don't really have much use for Phrygian. That one is a really, let's see, in the course, yeah, I think, and that's the example we're going to pull up at the end. But I did kind of sample my love of Tom Waits for that one. Because that's Phrygian, it's just a minor chord. Because Phrygian is a minor, and then you just go up one fret to a major. Which Tom Waits' Rain Dogs is like one of the only songs I could think of that did that. So yeah, that's the only one that I don't kind of get lost in. Like the other ones, I find a lot of beauty in the progressions that they generate. That's the thing, is like there's the scales, but there's the progressions, and that's the thing that I stretched out with in this one. Yeah, I watched it all for quality, quality control. It was a lot. I think I don't know how many hours of education it is, but it's a bargain. But it is good stuff. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And you guys got to see I used some of the cool guitars that they had down there at True Fire. You saw they got a cool Relic Telecaster and a gold top that I got to play around with. Yeah, I was having fun. In general, these last two courses, if I was to say what my favorite ones are, it's basically the first one I made, Guitar Zen Cage. Like that's the bestseller. That was, that one came out really well. And I really feel good about Next Level Rhythm and Modes. I feel like the backing tracks are really good. The education, the material is there, and there you go. What are people asking?
So another question,
Okay.
Eric, that I wanted to ask, when it comes to playing guitar in general, do you have like a certain type of guitar that fits the best with you, that you feel the most comfortable playing? And a lot of people actually ask that in the chat as well.
No, that also changes. I will not. It's funny. Where's Mustang? Mustang is behind where is he? He's hiding over there. I love the Mustang up to about the 6th fret, and then my famous 66 Mustang. That tiny little fretboard on that guitar and the vintage radius and the tiny little frets is actually very difficult to play. So even though I love that guitar and I've had it forever, it's very much a special occasion guitar. But you can, you guys can see. Oh yeah, I'm playing. What am I playing today? Steve let me. Steve's my old neighbor, Steve Carr. Yeah, we got the car amp and then a $400 Squire. I definitely, by the way, believe in that. Spend a lot of money on an amp and maybe less on a guitar is a good way to go. If you're going to have to, obviously, if you can spend a lot on both, do that. But I'm really liking the car stuff and the Dusky stuff. But in terms of guitars, I'm like Mike Campbell, man. I like them all too much. I got a problem.
Another question we just got in, Eric, was, let's see, let me bring this up here. What is the most important thing that you want students to take away from the Modes course and Guitar Zen in general?
So much. Okay, my mission in life, right, is I really want all the guitar players, all of us, not ready for prime time, minor league guitar players to play more content, more creative, and more confident. Like that's what I really want to put out there. Like that this doesn't have to be complicated. This is supposed to be fun. Because at the end of the day, that's the number one thing. I want people to just be like, cool. To have that same just level of pure joy with it, because I think the internet and internet guitar teachers like myself maybe have started to, I don't know if we're causing a problem where people think they really need to overplay to be good, but it's, I'm trying to be the other side of that. Like, just chill. Just, this is so cool. It's so cool. I'm never mad at this instrument. You know, yeah, I love guitar and I want everybody else to know what I know. What do we got? We got so many questions.
We've got so many questions. One that just came in is, Eric, what do you think of instrumental surf rock?
Yeah, yeah, I think, okay. Oh, yeah. So surf rock is classic stuff to work on. That's really good repertoire builder, Ghost Riders in the Sky. Like, that stuff is really great finger accuracy, phrasing, things to work on. And then, of course, on YouTube, I've done some Krungbin lessons, which I think they're one of the most brilliant modern takes on that, because they're bringing in world music, hip hop, R&B, like yeah, what they do is such a cool evolution of that. So yeah, of course, I love that stuff.
Very good. Now, I actually have a question personally, as
Yeah,
somebody
dude.
who I'm not much of a guitarist myself. I know it's crazy. I work at TrueFire. I should learn. When it comes to people who are like me, who are beginners, how would you suggest that we navigate the guitar Zen world?
The Guitar Zen world is not very much for beginners, and maybe I'll have to make a beginner course. It's really most of my teaching material is for people who can already play their open chords, already play their bar chords, and can play a shape or two of the pentatonic box. It's for like that middle ground. I mean, I've taught beginners a lot, back, when I taught in person here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And it's funny, every so often people ask that. They ask like, hey, do you have beginner materials available? I don't. So yeah, I either need to make it or or just leave it. Just leave space for somebody else to do that. That's a big thing for me. Like, I don't have to do everything. There's somebody out there, I'm sure, who's making really good beginner materials. So yeah, my answer is yeah, no, they're not. Therefore, not beginner, not beginner.
Right. We just had another question that came in. We have some folks that are chatting together. And do you have any insights into playing in time with practice and licks?
Yeah. So I part of being a YouTube person and, recording yourself and analyzing it and editing it every week, I know exactly where my notes fall. And, they're on either side of the beat. They're not perfect, and my timing's never going to be perfect. But in general, I always say, this, to play really slow and try and keep that note right in the center of the beat, which is actually incredibly difficult. We always tighten up and rush. And by the way, not just guitar players. Every musician has a tendency to do this. So like, if you think you're playing too fast, you are. Just slow it down and really bounce that thing right in the middle of the beat. And honestly, you don't even need a metronome, I don't think. Personally, I think I'm always just dragging the tempo around. I talk about this in YouTube videos, that if we train ourselves, that's like the opening of Triste, not totally right. I know I'm not a bossa nova player, but like, I'm always with that. When I'm working on it for my sister's wedding, she's going to walk down the aisle to that. So that's what I'm playing on the couch, while I'm watching Mandalorian reruns, is Triste over. That's literally, by the way, what I'm going to do when I get off this call. But it's like, that's at tempo. And then, so I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself to like like that I have to slow down. That I have to slow down. So, I'm not just a founder, I'm a member also. That's why I preach that so hard.
We got another question that came in. Eric, when recalling songs, do you recommend to remember all the chords and riffs, or is it more by ear?
Oh, that's a good question. So, as if you're working on stuff and you got your repertoire, your riffs, your chord progressions, your songs that you've played, and I always say that, keep it small. You can't know all the songs in the world. I mean, maybe you can, but I can't. But as the theory knowledge increases, what you'll find happening is, even if you don't remember a song super well, sometimes you'll be playing a song and you'll be like, I haven't played that song in 10 years. Was that, was that, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. But you start to just be like, I think it goes up to the 4 chord and it goes to a minor 7. You just start to you have that question, you can kind of answer those questions for yourself. I think it goes up, doesn't it? Oh no, it goes. Okay. But again, that was playing it at tempo. Fun stuff. Okay, more questions.
That was very good. So Eric, when it comes to when you learned how to play guitar originally, when you first really got into guitar, was it I just want to learn how to play songs? Was it I want to learn theory? What was your methodology when you really got into it?
I come from a musical family. My uncle is a very accomplished orchestral percussionist. My little sister teaches music. My brother plays. My mother plays. There's a lot of show tunes and singing. So music was always around. But I was lucky because my brother's just a couple of years older than me. When I picked up guitar, he was like, I'm gonna play bass. And so it was basically a month into it is we had each other, and then my buddy Gabe was a drummer and we had a band. So it was very much learn songs, play, the school talent show. Yeah, it was pretty fast. Okay, I'm doing this to play gigs, basically. Which I know that a lot of people aren't in that enviable position of having human beings to play music with, which is really unfortunate. It's the most fun, aside from the pure fun of just wee. But if you got somebody to play music with, go do that. Go do it. Because I know what it's like. I know, I teach Zoom lessons with people every day. I get to see people are like, yeah, there's no one in my town. There's no one to play music with. I don't know. And so what happens is they end up in this cycle of self-criticism. I need to be better. I need to be more. And it's no, this thing is stupid. It's like I said, it's not terribly complicated. But when you're by yourself, you can be like, I don't know. My phrasing sucks. You can really get down on yourself. And I know that there's not a lot of ways out of that when there's no one in your community. Open mics are a thing, recording yourself, playing over backing tracks and loops. Those are all things that you can do to kind of simulate what it's like to be in a band. I definitely would encourage any of that.
Great. Another question that we got actually is kind of related to that last question is who was your guitar idol growing up and who is your guitar idol now?
Yeah, obviously okay, well, I'm old enough where I was there for the tail end of hair metal. And no lie, it was and it's funny watching Poison and Motley Crue and whatever else what was on MTV in the late 80s. I knew that stuff was terrible even then, and yet though I was still that's kind of awesome and I want to do that. And so it was that stuff that actually was I want to get a guitar. Thankfully, very quickly I moved on from that into, the classics, because I always liked the Beatles and Stones, and all that stuff was always there. These days, there's a lot of amazing guitar players. There's, people are doing amazing stuff, but I'm a weirdo. I'm actually like a guitar guy who really just likes bands. I like bands and songs. If there happens to be a cool guitar part in the song by the band, whoever it is, great. If not, fine. Yeah, I'm not, Mark Spear is definitely one of the modern guys. I'm like, man, that's cool what he's doing. Hermanos Gutierrez, those dudes are up to some freaky stuff. Yeah, so yeah, it's funny though. It's like I don't super fixate on guitar specific people anymore. I just kind of listen to stuff.
We got another question that came in. This is kind of a long one, so let's do it.
There's so many good
My guitar,
questions.
my guitar buddy says that I'm thinking too much and not being in the moment when I'm soloing during our improv and jam sessions. And yet, if I don't think, I can't figure out what it's going to sound appropriate over the rhythm and chords that he is laying down. Do you have any suggestions on making the transition from practice time on my own, where thinking things out isn't prohibited, to improv jamming later?
Yeah, I need to make another video about this. I made a video a year or two ago called "We Don't Have to Play to Changes." That I only play to changes at, like, using the cage shapes and that stuff. One, for rhythm guitar parts, for tasty little fills and stuff like that. Two, for making arrangements of things. And if I'm gonna do it in a solo, it's going to be because there is something in that chord structure that really needs me to deal with it. If I don't have to, I'm going to do like I talked about earlier in this live thing. I'm going to start with an idea, usually the vocal melody, and I'm going to try and yes end my way into telling a good, simple rhythmic story. We don't have to play the changes unless there's weird chords in there. So I would really encourage you to simplify things and think about a melody that tells a story. Like, okay, hold on, I'm going to open it up, my little, because I have my notes that I'm working on this. Like, think like in limericks, like this one. I'm gonna there was a young lady named Cager who, as a result of a wager, consented to fart the complete oboe part of Mozart's quartet in F major. But da 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 da, ba da 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 da, ba dee da da ba, ba da 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 da, ba da da dee dee da da. Like that, those rhythmic things are the things that actually work more than the scales. Again, I'll do E. Yeah, I'll do E mixolydian. I didn't like that ending. Stuff like that. Stuff like that. Just trying to keep it really simple. Yeah, okay, I'll stop. But we'll get to
That was great. And actually, this is that kind of is a gateway to this next question. What riff or lick do you instinctively play when you pick up a new guitar for the first time?
That is usually dependent on whatever I'm about to film for YouTube, because that's whatever song is on my mind. Or yeah, it's always whatever is on my mind at any given week. Like I said, yeah, these days it's Jobim, because I'm just going to be practicing that piece over and over and over until my sister's wedding day, which is what, I think June 8th. Yeah, so I got a good couple of weeks to get Triste dialed in. But yeah, there's no given thing. And in fact, when I go to a guitar store, I think the last time I went to a guitar store, I was at Well Strung Guitars up in Farmingdale when I was visiting my dad, which I posted about on Instagram. It went viral, which is insane. People flipped out about their collection of vintage guitars, which was $25 million of vintage guitars. Like, everything. There wasn't a guitar that was less than 15,000. I sat down with a 1954 Les Paul Gold Top and went, and played Harry Nilsson Coconut. The guy did crack up. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't really worry about impressing music store employees. Like, a lot of times I'll go to a music store and just be like, just trying to hear it. Yeah. You guys want to know something? You know, super expensive vintage guitars versus a cheap, very playable modern guitar. Yeah, the mojo is there for sure, but like I'm like, you know what, this is just fine. Like I'm not it cured me of a certain degree of like vintage gear lust. I was like, yeah, this is cool to play this vintage gold top. But I was actually like, I like playing my Starcaster just fine also. It didn't change me. It was, in fact, it changed me the opposite. That I was like, I like this guitar just fine. Yeah. What else we got?
Somebody actually asked in, I have been trying an experiment to not think and just feel it out as I go. Am I a moron?
No, man. It's a recreational activity. Like, if you don't want to think about music theory, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to. You can just play blues. Like, that's super cool to do. You don't have to do any of this stuff to be good. I don't, I only do it because I'm genuinely fascinated by music and fascinated by the way the sounds go together and the way things stack up. I mean, that's why I have a music degree. I was like, I'm so curious about this. I'm going to go into debt to make sure I know everything. And so, yeah, I did. By the way, I've dug myself out of that debt. Yay. But yeah, that was why I went to music school. Not to even be a badass, just like I was just so curious. I was like, I just want to know once and for all how this all works.
And I mean, people don't stop learning music. They don't stop learning guitar. And I think people, especially when they come to True Fire and they see all of these great courses, is you always are consistently learning because the evolution of guitar, I mean, it'll never end. Is there a topic that you have always been really itching to learn yourself? Like, is there something that you haven't really fully mastered that you think that you're still even in training for?
I mean, these days, I'm always just trying to play really smooth, really rhythmically, right in the middle of the beat. Like, that's like always my thing. And then honestly, I spend a lot more of my creative energy thinking about teaching. That like, what is the best way for me to help people? What is the best way for me to, again, accomplish this goal of mine of to, like, if I had like a magic wand, ding, that everybody would have the same joy and fascination with this instrument and no frustration, and all the minor league bands would play that much better, and everybody, if I could do that, that's what I would do. So I don't, anything that I am kind of fascinated by. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get an electric sitar and learn transcribe the solo from Steely Dan's "Do It Again." That's the only thing on the horizon. But it's song by song basis.
That sounds amazing. I would love to hear
that's
that,
like one of the notiest solos. And by the way, it's modal. Generally, I don't like notey solos, but yeah, "Do It Again," just so you know. Here's G minor pentatonic, and then it's G Dorian. But homeboy Denny Diaz is also putting in the flat 5, making that thing just so. Like, I haven't figured it out yet, but like, it is. Like, it's a cool one. That's maybe the only thing technical on the horizon that I'm like, yeah.
You gotta know.
Yeah.
Another question came in. What is your favorite guitar solo of all time?
So many. I mean, there's some. Okay, so Hendrix's solo on the end of Axis Bold as Love, that kills me every time. It's just some of his most. It's a totally playable solo, isn't it? Just like. And then it was it. Obviously, I haven't played that in years, but like, God, that's a great one. I always loved that one. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many great solos. But that's one that pops to mind. We'll say that's my favorite one.
There we go. Another question actually came in, probably prompted by this. When you just want to sit down and play a feel-good song that brings you joy purely because it sounds good and is fun to play, what is your guilty pleasure song? I actually want to know this too.
Yeah, I don't have guilty pleasures, man. Like,
They're just pleasures.
I'm a silly guy. So like,
You just, this is what, okay, I'm bowing down to you. You just pulled that out of nowhere. That is amazing.
that
And,
was what, okay. So like that one is like, of all the songs I know how to play, yeah, like that one always makes people smile. So yeah, maybe I'm a silly guy. I like funny stuff.
I think, I mean, it's great to see, and I mean, not no offense by this, but guitar nerds are the greatest kind of nerds because you just pull those notes out of anywhere. It's amazing, and when you see an artist who has such joy in their playing, I think that's one of the reasons why people love your courses, and I love your courses. I mean, like I said, I'm a new guitarist, and I'm watching your courses just in awe because you just exude joy in them, and I think that's key to the success of teaching somebody how to play guitar and helping them refine their skills is just showing the joy in playing music. So many people forget that, I think.
Yeah, well, again, it's part of this modern world that we're in, and isolation, and then social media tends to it doesn't make for happy, and that's why on my channel you never I don't think I've ever said anything nasty or snarky. Sometimes I can be a little bit silly, but like yeah, I really don't believe in. I don't title my videos like "Don't do this," "You can't do this," "Why you can't do this," "Why you're bad at this." Like I don't deal in that world. I try to really be like, this is fun. I think this is fun. These are the things I was thinking about this week, so this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, like I said, I just want people to, if I can't fix everything, but hopefully I can help, people have a little more fun with their playing.
Absolutely. This question that just came in is I have a theory that the fastest way to become valuable to a band is to focus on rhythm. What do you think?
I think that you are 100% correct. 1000%. I agree with that statement. I was lucky enough to have a video that was called, how to be good at rhythm guitar, go viral very quickly, which made me very happy. Not because, yeah, it went viral, but also it was a subject of like, dude, this is actually the gig. I love Tom Petty. It's like that. So much more of my life has been spent doing that than anything, impressive. But the thing with social media is people won't tend to click on a video that's just clean chords. You have to be pretty clever about how you title something like that because, yeah, we want to see it's impressive to see people move the fingies around, but really, rhythm guitar is really the gig.
And it's interesting. Another question just came in is how do you deal with teaching students that seem to find rhythm very difficult? A lot of them
That,
may think that.
that's a tough one. That is a really tough one. Rhythm is one of the harder things to teach because, like, sitting there and reading rhythm is very slow, and then translating it. I usually say this: most songs, I made a video on YouTube that was like, these are the three grooves. Something is either like mid-tempo rock, like most songs, or either. That's a classic. And then, stuff is maybe half tempo. Like, what was the example I used? Oh, Pixies. That kind of plodding feel. Or stuff is some kind of Bo Diddley derivative, which, Bo Diddley, I can get a little more volume than that. But like that actually shows up. What did that show up in? Then I was just teaching the other day. Yeah, I was talking about Traffic, Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys. Because if you hear it, that's actually. that Corey Wong stuff, like, that stuff is Bo Diddley derivative, which is ultimately, Latin clave patterns. Stuff is really those three feels. And if you, again, I'm always looking for the simple ways to explain things. Yeah, sure, stuff can always be more complicated, but to me, I'm like, this is the simple way. If you get those three things down slowly, cleanly, you're good. You're good. That'll be the main three to worry about.
Beautiful. All right, well, we have time for two more questions before we get there. And before we continue with more questions, just want to remind everybody, if you would like to get the next course in the Guitar Zen series, which is Eric's course on modes, you can do so now on TrueFire. You can go to Eric's website. You can get the course directly there. Right now, it is on early access. So what that means is if you purchase it right now, you will have access to it immediately. It officially launches on TrueFire in 2 weeks, but tonight, it is now on early access, so you can go directly through Eric's website. You can buy it there, and it streams directly from TrueFire. You buy the course now. You can watch it. It is the final course of the Guitar Zen series, and I know more things are probably on the horizon for Eric with us here at TrueFire, but now you can go and get this course and be able to enjoy all 6 of the Guitar Zen courses right now. So go and get it. It's amazing. People love these courses. Go in and grab it, and so you can complete the full set and journey into the mountain of understanding of the Guitar Zen series. I love it so much. When you first showed me that graphic before, I was like, we've never really had like a full infographic for a course series before, and it was just so great. People are visual learners, musicians are visual learners, so it was great to see that. So it really does help.
Yeah, so, and by the way, please go to, if you go to my website and download it through that link there, again, it's, I am not TrueFire. TrueFire is TrueFire. I'm Eric Haugen, but that is how I make my profit share off of it, through that linking. So, just wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely. But, we encourage that a lot. We encourage that a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and let y'all guys fire off. That completes so far, just so you know, all the stuff that I've filmed for TrueFire. Generally, what I do when I'm thinking about what I want to teach next for TrueFire, what I want to like go unpack, is I look at my analytics. And I'm like, well, what videos seem to really resonate with people? I'm going to make a whole course about it. I'll tell you right now, who wants to hear me do an acoustic series? I'm gonna see how many people want to do that. But also, like, if you were like, man, I wish you could really unpack a thing. I think I saw Rob say that it would be cool to do a whole Mark Ribot thing. That would be an interesting one to do. Also, all that strange, skronky out stuff. But yeah, I'll let you guys fire it off, and I'm gonna be able to look at all these comments later. I'm letting you guys choose what I put together as the next couple of courses. Because right now that's it, and I don't even know. Okay, acoustic, finger picking.
Acoustic and finger picking. Yeah, that's great. I mean, and that's a very common question that we get a lot is acoustic and finger picking. So that'd be awesome.
Okay, that'd be fun. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Skronk, acoustic, skronk, acoustic. Okay, well, there's the next 2. Yeah, I'll do one that's the skronk, which, by the way, if you don't know what skronk is, it's basically out blues playing. And there's actually kind of a thought process to it, the leaps you take. Really, you just aim for the flat 5 really hard. But there's the flat 5 and the 9, I guess, are the 2 intervals. But yeah, I could do a whole. Surf rock won't be an interesting.
We're getting a lot. I mean, we're getting across the board. Basically, people want to see you just teach in general. It seems at this point they just want to see you teach guitar, and that is great.
Cool. Okay, this is interesting. Well, this is helpful. All right, I can see, and this is all one just about weirdness would be a fun one, because that is a little like. That's a thing, the playing out. It's like I said, if how to use a diminished triad. Yeah, okay. We could talk about that. Yeah. We could talk about weirdness, ways to sound wrong that aren't actually wrong. Because that's the thing. If you want to play weird, there's you see by the way, ready for this trick. Like, you'll see, I saw Marcus King do this. This is like something every guitar teacher shows the student that this is just a staircase shape. And like, say, we'll go up to B. Say you're doing a blues. you just start. That's like one of those ways to sound out that is really out. It's just a staircase. Alternate tunings would be an interesting one too. This is fun. Yeah, just keep firing.
Lots of great things here.
Picking, finger picking. Okay, yep.
All right. Well,
okay.
Eric, I appreciate you being here. Now, what I would love for you to do is, because we're simulcast now on the True Fire channel, and we're simulcast here on all of your channels. So once again, thank you for that. For our folks that maybe don't know you and they want to get more familiar with you in general as an instrumentalist, as a teacher, how can they follow you on all the different platforms and drop your website information and how they can buy your courses from you today?
Yep. Hi, how you doing? Hi, my name is Eric Haugen. Check the description box below for tabs and backing tracks. Sorry, I say that in every video. My name is Eric Haugen. I have a YouTube channel. That's Norwegian, by the way. My grandfather was from Bergen, Norway. But yeah, Eric Haugen, Haugen. That's my YouTube channel. That's my Instagram, my TikTok, my website. And yep, I post videos every week on there. Again, just basically like if you haven't met me before, yeah, just like this is what I was thinking that was pretty cool this week. Neat. Here, let's talk about it. That's what I do. So it can be. In fact, let's see what's coming out this week that I put a video together on that I'm editing. Oh, this is an interesting one I shot this week, which is about I'm primarily an electric guitar player, like 75% electric, 25% acoustic. What exactly is the difference between the approaches for those instruments? And the number one thing is just I'm an acoustic. You're not going to do a big bend, but then there's a bunch of other stuff.
We just had somebody say, you don't obviously have to do this, but can we see you do a TikTok dance? TikTok dances. Are you on TikTok, Eric? Do you have a TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok too. But the way I see it, I make the content. I might as well put the content to the places where the content goes. It's interesting to see the different algorithm response. Something will get a lot of views on Instagram, none on TikTok, a lot on TikTok, none. It's just an interesting thing to see how stuff works. Or to try and understand. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna hit these days on the interwebs. But anyway, Eric, so thank you once again for joining us. My name is Nathan. I'm here at True Fire. We appreciate you joining us for this launch party tonight. Make sure you go on Eric's website. You can check out the Guitar Zen courses in general. You can get early access now to Guitar Zen Modes, which just went on early access today. Now, I know as a special thank you to everybody for watching, we are going to show a performance from the Modes course. Would you like to set this one up and let people know what they will be watching?
So this, you know me. I'm always some folks know me. I'm always going to sneak in some of that Marc Ribot stuff. And so I think the little etude that they're pulling up is a B minor. And so I totally did it's a Phrygian thing, but I was like, okay, well, let's make it a Tom Waits, Marc Ribot Phrygian thing. So that's the little example that they're going to pull up. And what guitar did I play in it? I think I'm playing the Carl Longbottom guitar, the hollow Stratocaster that I have. Where's that one? Oh yeah, that blue guy over there. It's a good guitar. Yeah,
it looks great in the course. It looks great on camera. It's so good.
Yep. I am loyal to, although that gold top, I do. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to playing that gold top next time I'm down there. I like a gold top Les Paul.
You have the pick of the litter when it comes to the guitars when you come to the True Fire studio. We've got awesome. Every time I walk through the halls, I'm like, man, oh gosh, the dream collection. So it's so great. Well, Eric, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to be a part of this launch party today. We cannot wait to have you on for another live stream in the future. Once again, head on over to Eric's website, get Guitar Zen Modes. And we're going to leave you now with an exclusive performance from Guitar Zen Modes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. I'm Nathan. That's Eric. We'll see you around.
Thanks, guys.